The chamber hummed with an ancient resonance, faint vibrations pulsing through the soles of Commander Elara Vane's boots. Her visor adjusted automatically to the gloom, amplifying the soft blue glow seeping from cracks in the obsidian walls. The structure was impossibly old, older than the Valari Dominion, older than any charted civilization. And yet it breathed, as if its foundations remembered. "Commander," Lieutenant Soren murmured over the comm, his voice carried unease. "Readings are inconsistent. Energy signatures keep spiking, then vanishing. It's like the place is alive." Elara raised a hand for silence. The air itself thickened, heavy with static. Glyphs embedded in the walls shimmered, then erupted with pale light. Not symbols of any living language, jagged, spiraled inscriptions that carried weight without words. They spoke directly into thought. Her chest tightened as the message seared into her mind. "Not even we could save the galaxy from them. Remember the humans." Her squad froze. No one spoke, though the translation had appeared on every visor. Veterans of campaigns and border skirmishes all, yet none could mask their shock. The silence pressed harder than any battlefield's chaos. Finally, Soren whispered, "They're talking about us." Elara forced her voice steady. "Record everything. Full scans. Now." She kept her eyes fixed on the glowing walls, though a chill traced her spine. The ancients, if that was truly who had left this place, were not supposed to exist outside of fractured myths. And yet here their words burned. Sergeant Kale shifted his rifle uneasily. "The Accord's going to love this. They'll parade it across every broadcast. Proof the humans were cursed from the start." Elara turned, her expression sharp behind the visor. "We don't know what it means yet. Warnings can be twisted. History always is." Still, doubt gnawed at her. The ancients had spanned the stars before most species had shed their primordial seas. If they remembered humanity, what had they seen? The chamber trembled again, this time deeper, a quake that rattled equipment and sent dust cascading from the vaulted ceiling. A low-frequency pulse rolled outward. Her comm crackled with interference. "Commander," Soren said quickly, "energy surge is radiating beyond the ruins. Someone's going to notice. Then we move," Elara ordered. "Pack up. Back to the Resolute." They emerged into the half-light of a dying sun. The ruined spires jutted like broken teeth across the barren plain, casting elongated shadows. Their shuttle waited, engines warm. Elara scanned the horizon before boarding. The planet had been lifeless for millennia, yet her instincts prickled. Something unseen stirred. Inside the shuttle, reports came in quick bursts. Data locked. Records encrypted. Transmitters offline, external interference. Elara settled into her seat, jaw tight. Someone didn't want this information leaving the planet. The shuttle lifted, dust swirling below. The ruins shrank to black scars against the wasteland. Above, the Resolute, a lean human frigate, orbited like a hawk. Relief flickered in her chest. Then the proximity alarm shrieked. 3 ships blinked into existence at the edge of the system, their signatures unmistakable. Vaethra Accord cruisers, sleek and predatory. Soren cursed. "They were waiting for us. Get us aboard," Elara snapped. As the shuttle docked, the comms crackled with an incoming transmission. A voice filled the bridge, measured, resonant, with the weight of centuries. "Commander Vane," said High Prefect Zaylor. "How fortunate we arrive at the same time. Have you found what the ruins contain? Or shall I share the truth for you?" Elara strode to the comm station, her posture rigid. "Prefect Zaylor. You're far from Accord space." Zaylor's image materialized, tall, silver-scaled, his eyes like shards of obsidian. He regarded her as one might a dangerous animal behind glass. "The ancients spoke," he said. "And their words confirm what we have always known. Humanity is a contagion. Even those who came before saw it. The galaxy will not wait for your species to ignite the fire that consumes us all." Her crew bristled, muttering. Elara silenced them with a glance. "You twist fragments into prophecy. The ancient's message isn't that simple. And you know it." Sailor's mouth curved in something that was not quite a smile. Interpret it how you like. The council will hear only what matters. The verdict is already written. His image flickered, vanishing as the cruisers advanced. Alarms wailed. The Resolute's captain shouted, "Accord ships are locking weapons!" "Evasive pattern," Elara ordered. "We're not picking this fight." The frigate veered, thrusters burning as the cruisers opened fire. Lances of plasma streaked past, shattering asteroids. Shields shuddered. The Resolute cut hard around the planet, diving into its shadow. Elara gripped the rail, calculating. They couldn't match 3 cruisers head-on. Survival meant outthinking, not overpowering. "Dump decoys," she ordered. "Bleed a false trail toward the sun. Then prep the slip drive." The frigate jolted as missiles detonated nearby, but the ruse worked. The Accord ships split, pursuing phantoms. The Resolute surged into the shadow of the dying star, where interference masked their escape vector. "Coordinates set," Soren called. "Punch it." Space warped, light bent, and the frigate vanished into slipstream. The crew sagged with relief, but tension lingered. Kale slammed a fist against the console. "They're going to paint us as monsters, Commander." "That's what he wanted all along." Elara exhaled slowly. "Then we don't give them the chance. We find the truth before Zaylor twists it beyond recognition." Soren adjusted his console. "Commander, before we jumped, the ruins broadcasted again. Brief, encrypted. We captured fragments. Looks like coordinates." Elara's eyes narrowed. The ancients hadn't just warned, they had pointed somewhere. "Plot them," she said quietly. "Whatever this is, it's bigger than a curse carved on stone." She rose, looking out through the viewport. Stars streaked across their path, endless and cold. Somewhere out there, the next piece waited. But Zaylor would not stop. He would hunt them, frame them, rally the galaxy against them. Elara tightened her grip on the rail. If the ancients thought humanity was the doom of civilizations, then the galaxy had yet to learn the truth. Humanity was not the threat. Humanity was the answer. And she would prove it. The Resolute slid out of slip space into the orbit of New Carthage, humanity's diplomatic hub. Towers of steel and glass glittered beneath the planet's thin clouds, a city designed as much for spectacle as for governance. It was here that humanity's leaders debated survival under the watchful gaze of the galaxy. Commander Elara Vane barely cleared the docking ramp before officials pressed in. Cameras whirred, aides shoved datapads forward, voices overlapped in a storm of questions. She pushed through without answering, her mind fixed on the encrypted data clutched in her gauntlet. Inside the council chamber, the air felt heavier than the ruins had. Holographic banners of Earth and its colonies shimmered above a crescent table where admirals, senators, and corporate envoys sat. Their eyes locked on her the moment she entered. Admiral Rin spoke first, a hawk-faced veteran whose voice carried like a blade. "Commander, we've already received Accord broadcasts. Zaylor claims the ancients condemned our species outright. He's rallying half the frontier to his side. Tell us that's not true." Elara placed the data core on the table. "It's not that simple. The message was real, but incomplete. The ancients left coordinates, another site, maybe more answers. If we act on fragments, we'll be trapped by Zaylor's version of the truth." A senator leaned forward, eyes sharp. "And while we wait, Accord fleets tighten nooses around our colonies. You're asking us to gamble on ruins and myths while our people bleed." Rin's fist struck the table. "Then we strike first. Show them what humans are made of." Murmurs of approval rippled. The hunger for war burned in too many eyes. Elara's jaw tightened. "If we fire the first shot," she said, voice cutting through, "we give Zaylor exactly what he wants. He doesn't fear our strength, he fears our restraint. He needs us to prove his prophecy. If we don't, he has nothing but fearmongering." The room quieted, uneasy. Admiral Rin glared. "So what do you propose?" "Send me to the coordinates," she said. "Let me uncover the truth before Zaylor buries it. If the ancients had reason to fear, I'll find it. But we cannot let him control the narrative unchallenged. The chamber wrestled in silence. Finally, the council chair, an old woman named Myria Koss, spoke with weary conviction. Very well. Vane, you'll go. But understand, if you fail, humanity may not survive long enough to hear your answers. Elara bowed her head. Then I won't fail. The second site lay beyond charted lanes, orbiting a collapsed star that devoured light itself. The Resolute emerged into a graveyard. Debris of shattered fleets drifted in endless procession, relics of battles fought centuries ago. At the center hung the vault. A ringed structure encased the neutron star, its surface cracked yet functional, glowing faintly against the abyss. Soren's voice trembled as he read the scans. Power levels are erratic, but there's activity inside. Something's still alive in there. Alive? Kale muttered. More like waiting. Elara studied the construct, determination hardening. Prep infiltration drones. We're not leaving until we know what it holds. Hours later, deep within the vault's husk, Elara floated through corridors where gravity had long failed. The air smelled of ozone and dust. Her suit lights played across walls etched with incomprehensible geometry, angles that bent the eye, designs that made the brain itch. Commander, Soren whispered over comms, though there was no need for quiet. Movement ahead. Energy signature, artificial. A shape emerged from the dark. Not a body, but light coalescing, threads weaving into a figure that flickered like a memory. Its voice was static layered with sorrow. You should not have come. Elara steadied her breath. We seek the truth. The Accord claims you condemned us. The figure shifted, resolving into vague humanoid form. Its eyes burned with pale fire. Condemned? No. Warned. We could not save ourselves, but we hoped another might. We bound the hunger. We chained it within the stars. But the lock weakens. Elara's heart hammered. Then what did you mean? Remember the humans? The light pulsed. Because only your kind can resist. Where others yield, you endure. Where others break, you defy. But if the galaxy fears you enough to unite, their war will shatter the chains we built. The hunger will wake. Static rippled, fragments tearing through the signal. The figure's final words barely reached them. Do not let them mistake the prophecy. If they do, all will fall. The apparition dissolved into sparks, leaving silence heavier than before. Kale broke it with a low curse. So that's it. We're not the threat, we're the stopgap. And Zaylor's crusade might be the very thing that brings doom. Before Elara could respond, alarm screamed. The vault shuddered. Soren's voice shouted through the channel. Accord fleet incoming, Zaylor himself. They're powering weapons. The Resolute's hull groaned as the first salvo struck. On the bridge, chaos erupted, fire suppression systems flaring, shields draining under relentless fire. Zaylor's fleet had them cornered against the star's gravity well. His image flared on the comms once more, cold satisfaction etched into every word. There is no refuge for your kind. The galaxy unites under truth, and the ancients have spoken it. Elara stood tall, though the deck shook beneath her. You blind yourself, Zaylor. The ancients warned of something greater, and you're too consumed with hate to see it. You'll kill us all. Zaylor's eyes gleamed. Better extinction than corruption. The transmission cut as another barrage rocked the frigate. Shields at 30%! Soren shouted. Elara's mind raced. They couldn't win, but they couldn't die here either, not with what they had learned. Her gaze flicked to the vault. Fragments of the AI still glowed, pulsing faintly. Target the outer rings of the vault, she ordered. Kale stared. Commander, if we damage it. Do it. We need chaos to cover our escape. The frigate's cannons roared, tearing chunks from the vault's shell. Energy cascaded outward in a shockwave, the neutron star's field flaring unstable. Zaylor's cruisers faltered under the sudden turbulence. Slip drive charged! Soren yelled. Engage! The Resolute vanished in a blaze of light as the vault writhed behind them, fragments collapsing into the neutron star's gravity. Zaylor's fleet scattered, trapped in the maelstrom. The crew sat in silence once they re-entered safe space. The adrenaline ebbed, leaving only exhaustion. Soren broke the quiet. We've got fragments from the AI's core. Enough to prove Zayler's lying. But will anyone believe it? Elara looked at her people, faces lined with fear, anger, but also fire. Belief isn't enough. We need proof strong enough to shatter doubt. The ancients left us coordinates for a reason. If there's more to find, it'll be there. And we'll reach it before Zayler twists the galaxy into his war. Kale leaned back, eyes hard. And if the next site holds something worse? Alara's gaze fixed on the stars. Then we face it. Because the alternative is letting Zayler wake the very thing they tried to bury. And if humanity's the only shield, then we hold. No one argued. The silence carried a grim unity. The galaxy was already turning against them. But in that moment, aboard a battered frigate carrying secrets no one wanted to hear, humanity's fight had truly begun. Slip space fractured open, and the Resolute emerged into the glare of a dying giant. The star boiled with crimson fury, its surface pierced by a lattice of dark structures encircling it like a cage. Ancient metal glistened, threads of energy binding the stellar heart as though the sun itself were shackled. No one on the bridge spoke at first. The sight pressed silence into their lungs. Soren whispered, "If the ruins before were myths made stone, this is a god's prison." Elara stood at the viewport, eyes locked on the cage. The coordinates had led them here for a reason. Whatever the ancients feared, this was the heart of it. "Scan the lattice," she ordered. "I want to know what they locked inside." Readouts poured across consoles. Energy output eclipsed anything human ships could generate. Buried within the star's core pulsed something vast, irregular, not fusion, not stellar physics, something alive, dormant. Kale muttered, "That's no natural anomaly. It's waiting." Alara's gut clenched. The AI's words echoed, "The hunger. The lock weakens." The comms flared before she could respond. A voice cold and familiar filled the bridge. "Commander Vane. Persistent, aren't you?" Zayler's fleet tore from slip space behind them, dozens of Accord warships blotting the stars. His flagship loomed at the center, jagged and cruel. His image materialized, eyes gleaming with triumph. "You led me well, human. To the truth I sought. The ancients bound their terror here, and you were their herald. Now the galaxy will see you for what you are, the trigger of its doom." Elara straightened, calm under the weight of his gaze. "You're blind, Zayler. This isn't proof against us, it's proof of what we're meant to stop. Attack us, and you'll break the lock yourself?" Zayler's smile was thin, merciless. "Then let it break. Better oblivion than subjugation by your kind." His image vanished as weapons powered across his fleet. The first volley lit the void. The Resolute reeled, shields buckling under fire meant to vaporize larger ships. Crews shouted, alarms blared, the deck trembled like a wounded beast. "Elara, we can't take this!" Soren cried. Her mind raced. Retreat meant surrendering the truth. Battle meant destruction. Only one path remained: hold the line, whatever it cost. "Divert all power to shields," she ordered. "Target their lead escorts. We're not outrunning them, but we can stall them." Cannons roared, ripping into Accord ships at close range. 2 exploded, debris scattering. But for each that fell, more pressed forward. The lattice shuddered under stray fire. Flares burst from the star, ripples distorting space itself. A voice cut into her mind, not over comms but within thought, the echo of the ancients. "Do not let the seal shatter. If it wakes, there will be no war. Only hunger." Elara gritted her teeth. "Then we hold." The star convulsed. A fracture opened in its surface, black tendrils writhing upward like smoke made solid. Shapes half-formed clawed against the lattice. Every Accord ship faltered as sensors screamed. Even Zayler's voice betrayed unease when it returned. "What is this?" Elara seized the moment, broadcasting on all frequencies. "This is what the ancients feared. Not humanity, this. They held it back, and now only we can keep it caged." You kill us, you kill yourselves. For a heartbeat, silence hung. Then Zaylor snarled, fury overcoming fear. Lies! You unleashed it yourself! His fleet surged again, firing wildly. The lattice cracked further. Black fire licked outward, searing ships that strayed too close. An Accord cruiser disintegrated in an instant, its hull torn apart as though devoured. Panic rippled through their formation. Soren shouted, Commander, if the lattice fails completely. I know, Alara cut in. Her voice steadied. All power to weapons! Aim for Zaylor's flagship. We break his will, or the galaxy burns. The Resolute charged headlong, weaving between larger vessels, shields screaming under impact. Plasma rounds tore into Accord hulls, explosions scattering debris. Alara's blood pounded, every order barked sharp and precise. Fire torpedoes, now! The barrage streaked into Zaylor's escort. His shield flared, collapsed. The flagship staggered, wounded but alive. Zaylor appeared once more, his face twisted in rage. You think one human ship will decide the fate of empires? Alara met his gaze without flinching. Not one ship. One species. And we don't surrender. With the last of their reserves, the Resolute fired a concentrated volley. The shot punched through Zaylor's flagship, ripping its flank open. The vessel buckled, venting flame and wreckage. Zaylor's image dissolved in static. A cheer erupted on the bridge, short-lived as the star convulsed again. Tendrils battered the lattice, cracks spreading like lightning across the construct. Stabilizers are failing, Soren shouted. We're out of time. Alara's mind sharpened. Redirect our reactors into the lattice. Use the ship itself as reinforcement. The crew froze, realizing the cost. Kale shook his head. That'll burn us out. We won't survive. Alara's voice softened, but it carried steel. If we fall, it won't matter. If the seal breaks, nothing survives. This is what the ancients couldn't do, they gave up. We won't. For a heartbeat, silence. Then Kale slammed his console with finality. Aye, Commander. The Resolute's reactors howled, energy surging into the lattice. The star blazed, the cracks sealing under the torrent. Tendrils writhed, then recoiled, dragged back into the furnace of the sun. The cage flared white-hot, holding firm once more. The void stilled. Smoke choked the bridge. Systems flickered, power drained to embers. The crew slumped in exhaustion, alive by threads. Soren managed a ragged laugh. We did it. The seal holds. Alara sank into her chair, chest heaving. She gazed at the lattice, glowing steady once more. No. Humanity did it. And now the galaxy knows. Survivor reports spread within hours. Accord fleets, broken by fear, scattered. Rumors tore through every channel, of humans who stood against the unnameable, of a single frigate that held back annihilation. Some called it impossible. Others undeniable. Zaylor's flagship limped into retreat, his coalition fracturing under the weight of doubt. The crusade he built collapsed, not with triumph, but with shame. Yet suspicion lingered. The galaxy had seen humans tie themselves to something terrible, something older than all. Fear remained. Hatred remained. But so did all. On the Resolute, battered beyond recognition, Alara looked out at the lattice one final time. Her voice was quiet, meant only for her crew. The ancients remembered and they warned. But they mistook fear for prophecy. They thought survival was impossible. They were wrong. Her gaze hardened, eyes reflecting the glow of the caged star. We're not the end. We're the answer. And the galaxy will never forget it.